In this video, I will refresh your memory how to subtract decimal numbers. Let's get started with a 1 digit minus a 1 digit. There are two rules in decimal subtraction, and here is rule number 1 demonstrated. 0.7 minus 0.2. And this is what the rule is. You have to line up the digits according to their places, according to their decimal place values. Here the digits 7 and the digit 2 line up perfectly vertically with each other. The 7 is in the 10th place value and the 2 is also in the 10th place value, and they line up. The decimal dots also line up, and for the 1's place value we have digit 0 and digit 0 again. Now once we made sure the numbers line up perfectly, we can start subtracting. 7 take away 2 is 5. Carry the decimal dot down and write down 0 minus 0 is 0. So the answer is 5/10 for the question. 7/10 lessened by 2/10 is how much? We can carry this rule on almost pretty much indefinitely. We just don't have the space for that, but here is another number where the same rule is being applied. How about that long number and another long number like 5 there, like that. Two long numbers. You have to make sure, again, rule number 1, you have to make sure that the numbers, the digits, line up correctly according to their place value. Here the 6 and the 5 are in the millionth place value and they are nicely stacked vertically. The 2 and the 1 are in the 100,000th place value and they are stacked nicely. The 5 and the 3 are in the 10,000th place value and they are neatly lined up. 9 and the 7 for the 1,000th place value. 8 with the 6 for the 100th place value, and 7 with the 5 for the 10th place value. And for the 1's digits we have 0 and 0. Once we made sure the numbers line up, we can start subtracting. 6 minus 5 is 1. 2 minus 1 is also 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. 9 minus 7 is also 2. 8 minus 6 is also 2, and 7 take away 5 is 2 again. Carry down the decimal dot the same place, and 0 minus 0 is 0. So here is the answer, 200. This is how you read this number. You can either read it digit by digit, 0.222211, but if it's confusing how many 2's and how many 1's, you can just read it 222,211 millionth. That's how you read this number, 222,211 millionth. So that's how you read and write and subtract decimal numbers. Now let's look at one more with borrowing. For example, you've got 1.5 and let's subtract 0.6 from it. Again, before you start anything, you have to make sure that the numbers are lined up neatly. The 5 and the 6 are on the 10th place value and they are neatly lined up, one directly below or above the other. The decimal dots are lined up and the 1's digits are also lined up. There is digit 1 for the 1's place value and digit 0 for the 1's place value here. Once the numbers are lined up, we can almost start subtracting, but there's a problem. You cannot take away 6 from 5. You need to do something that's called borrowing or trading, and you have to trade from the whole numbers there, or the numbers to the left. And if you trade 1 there, there's gonna be nothing left there, but there's gonna be 15 left there. I'm just gonna cross that one out. 15 take away 6 is 9, and 0 take away 0 is 0. So the answer is 9/10 to this question. Now, to illustrate this borrowing just a little better, 1.5 is the same thing as $1.50, and 0.6 is the same thing as 60 cents. And it is obvious that if we spend 60 cents when we have $1.50, we will have 90 cents left. What I'm doing with the extra zeros is important here. And it's going to lead us into the next rule, that by writing extra zeros here after the numbers, it doesn't change the original value of the number. It doesn't add value to the number. I can fill in as many zeros as I want, it would still be 1.5. Now, what I did here with this trading is I took away $1 from the ones column and I changed it into 10 dimes here, because the dimes are worth 1/10 of a loonie. Now we have 10 tenths plus 5, that was originally written here. 10 tenths plus 5 tenths is 15 dimes, 15 tenths. That's what happened to this dollar. It got changed into dimes and now it's there, and you have 15 of them. And out of 15 dimes you spend 6. Out of 15 10-cent coins you spend 6 10-cent coins, and you will have 9 dimes, 9 10-cent coins. Let's do one more that makes use of this situation here, where rule number 2 gets actually applied. Say 3.7, and let's subtract 1.25 from it. For this subtraction to start, we have to make sure that the numbers for all the decimal places and all the whole numbers places are lined up properly. The digits 3 and 1 are in the ones place value and they are lined up vertically well. The numbers 7 and 2 are in the 10th place value, neatly lined up. And there is a number 5 for the 100th place value. Now to start subtraction, you're gonna need to apply rule number 2 for subtraction. You cannot possibly do this subtraction this way, because you have to have a number here to take the 5 away from. Now we have a 0 there, because 3.7 is the same as 3.70. By adding a 0 to 3.7, it doesn't add to the value of 3.7, it's still the same. Now we can try subtraction again. Now we have a number there. 0 take away 5 is not the same as 5 take away 0. That would be changing the subject. Don't do it. This one is 0 take away 5. Now you cannot take away when you have nothing, you cannot take away from it. So for this place value, we need to borrow some. Say this one is $3.70. $3 and 7 dimes, 7 10-cent coins. For the from the 7 10-cent coins, you can keep 6 and you can make 7 pennies, 7 coins with a 100th place value. To have $3 and 7 coins with 1/10 value is the same as having 3 whole numbers, 6 coins with a 1/10 value, and 10 coins with a 100th value. Now we can start subtracting. 10 take away 5 is 5. 6 minus 2 is 4. The decimal dot carries down. 3 take away 1 is 2. The answer to this one is 2.45. And this is where rule number 2 got applied. Last one, we'll do one more, an evil one, where both rules have to be applied many times. How about 1? Take away 0.035, take away 0.066123. How about that for a challenge? Okay, let's do this. Before we start anything, we have to make sure that the ones line up, the tenths line up, the hundredths line up, and the thousandths also line up. Okay, we also have to apply rule number 2, and we have to fill up the 10,000th, the 100,000th, and the millionth place values with zeros, so we can do the subtraction. And the same applies to this. 1 is the same thing as 1.0, is the same thing as 1.00 or 1.000, and so on. We fill in with 6 zeros there. Now we can get started with subtraction. 0 minus 0 minus 3. We have a problem right away because we cannot take away 3 from 0. Again, it's not the same as taking away 0 from 3. Don't change the subject. This is 0, you have nothing, and you're trying to take away 3. Not happening. So what you need to do is borrow. To have any value here, you have to have some value here, and to have any value here in the 100,000th place, you have to have values here. To have values here, you have to have values here and here and here. So to do that, you have to change up that one whole into, how about we change up $1 into 10 dimes. That's a 10. Now that helps this column, but it doesn't help this column for the where the cents go, where the hundredth numbers go. So out of the 10, we have to leave 9 and put 10 there. So now we can do these ones, but we have to have some number here for the thousandth column as well. So we have to take away 9. Sorry, we have to take away one from it and trade it up for 10 of those. And that helps these ones, but we also have to have numbers for this column, so this continues on. We have to have 9 everywhere to have 10 at the end. Now we can start subtracting. 10 take away, and these zeros are also to be ignored now. 10 take away 0 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 2 is also 7. 9 take away 0 take away 1 is 8. 9 take away 5 is 4. 4 take away 6. Oh, we have another problem here, Houston. You cannot take away from 9. 5 plus 6, 11. You cannot take away from 9, 11. We have to have more than 9 here. How do we do that? We have to borrow again from the guys ahead of the line. So out of 9 of these guys, 9 of 900th, we borrow 100th. So we have 8 left here, and we have 10 more here. 10 plus 9 is 19 here. Now we have 19,000th, and from 19,000th we can subtract 11,000th. So 19 take away 11 is 8. For the next column, We have 8. Take away 3, take away 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. You cannot take away 9 when you have 8. You have to increase this. How do we do that? We have to borrow from the column before it. So instead of 9, we have 8 tenths. And instead of 8 hundredths, we have to have 18 hundredths. 18 hundredths minus 9 is gonna leave us with 9 here. 9 hundredths, and 9 hundredths make 18 hundredths. For the next column we have 8 tenths. 8 tenths minus 0 is 8 tenths. And we had, I forgot to write that 0 down there because we traded up that 1 into all of that now. 0 minus 0 is 0, and don't forget to place your decimal dot. If you come to my class and I don't see a decimal dot in your subtraction, it's incomplete and incorrect. So this is very important. Just to recap this, we traded and borrowed from 1, and we made 8 tenths, 18 hundredths, 19 thousandths, 9 ten thousandths, 9 hundred thousandths, and 10 millions. It's still the same as 1. Okay, so that concept is important for subtraction, and that's how to subtract decimal numbers. Keep practicing.